So hello guys, welcome to Geeks for Geeks. This is Aman Gupta. Today I'm here to for the post analysis of weekly contest 198. So let me know in the comment box how many of the problems were you able to solve, and also tell me which problem did you find most difficult. Okay, so let's start. Let's begin with the first question. Let's see. Let me share my screen and what was the first question. And okay, so the first question was, hello, 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 hello. So, so guys, the first question was book reordering. Let's see. Let's analyze the first problem. What is given? We are given with the two arrays. Okay, pages and shelf. Okay, and what pages array represent? Pages array represent the number of pages in the ith book. Okay, there may be there may be 0, 1, 2, 3. There may be four books like that: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And pages of I is representing what are the number of pages in that book. Okay, so according to this example, what are the number of pages in ith means zeroth book, that is 9, and in one book, that is 10, and second book, that is 5, and third book, that is 4. After that, indicate, and what the self of I indicate? The shelf on which ith book is currently placed. Okay, so first book, so zeroth book is currently placed at first shelf. This is my shelf. Now let me see that for the index number oneth book, that is placed at third shelf, and the next two are placed on the fifth shelf. What do they want? The objective is to rearrange the book such that each shelf contain exactly one book. Here you can observe that at fifth shelf there are two books, that is second and third. But what we want to place one book at one shelf only. And what is the cost of removing? Because we are removing the book, the cost of removing the book is equal to the number of pages in that book. Suppose I am removing this second index book. So what is the cost of removing the number of pages? That is 5. But instead of that, if I am removing index number 30th book, that will be the cost will be 4 because the removing cost is number of pages. Now what do we want? Minimum or maximum? Let's see. We want minimum total cost required to arrange the books. Okay, we want minimum. So we want minimum total cost so that every shelf holds exactly one book. Which data structure came to your mind when you solve this problem? Yes, you are right. It is map. It is map. Can we map? Can we map every shelf with every book? Can we map? Let me write. Can we map shelf with the book? And if the book is repeated, what can I say? Remove this or place this. If this book is already placed, I have two choices according to the number of pages. Let me see if I have to remove it or I have to place it in my shelf. But if there is one book only in that shelf, I have no choice. I have to put it in my shelf. What I am saying, can we see this thing with the help of example? Okay. Suppose let me raise this thing, and as I have this shelf and pages, can I make a map? Can I make a map? Okay. I'm declaring a map of what? It is my shelf, and this is my book. This is my pages. Book with the pages. And in step number one, traverse through the shelf array and see if this one shelf is already present in map. Now, initially it is not present. So, in the shelf one, place a book with with pages 9. No issue. After that, move to next index and see if the shelf number 3 is present in map. But actually it is not. So place this shelf number 3 with the pages number 10. After that, let's see if 5 shelf number 5 is present in my map. No. So place it. And what is the count of pages? 5. No issue. After that, moving to index number 3, I am able to see that shelf 5 is already with the book having number of pages with 5. And here I have second thing that is with page number 4. I want minimum cost to remove, and what is the cost to remove is number of pages. So which book I will remove? Yes, 4. So uh, if my answer initially my answer was 0, what I will do, see, be with me. Initially my shelf 5 was filled with 5 pages of means 5. Let's see 5 only. Now I have a book with 4 pages. I will remove it and add it to my answer, and my shelf number 5 will remain same, no change. After that, my array is finished and my answer is 4. Answer is 4. We can see that answer is 4. Let's take another dry run to completely understand what is another dry run. Okay. Can I see this? Yes. 154777. 154. My pages is 154. Now, what I have, my shelf is 7, 7, and 7. Let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning. It is my map. It is my answer variable. Initially, the answer variable is filled with 0. And initially, self number 7 is not present in map. So store self number 7 with book 1. Now, again, when I will jump to this index, I will see that yes, 7 shelf is already filled with book with pages 1. Now I will see that the current book has 5 pages. If I will remove this current book with pages 5, it will maximize my cost. So don't do that. Remove this book from array and add it to my answer. Place this current book here. Are you guys understanding? Means if the number of pages is more than my current book in the map, I will remove that from the map and place this easily. After that, jump to next index. See, the number of pages in book, current book is 4, but in the map is 5, which I will remove 4 easily. I will not disturb the map and place this book to my answer. And now array is finished. What is my answer? 5. Let's see in example, it is 5 only. Yes. So can we code it now easily? Yes, here only. What we have? Let's see. I have a function, but I need to return integer value. And what I have? Two things. Two things. Pages and second is shelf array. Two arrays. Now, can I calculate the size of shelf? Shelf dot size. After that, I can declare, sorry, map, because I'm storing these things in map. So unordered map, because here I need not to store them in order. Unordered map of what? Int comma int. Can I name it MP? Yes. After that, can I take answer variable as 0? Yes. After that, traverse through the shelf as discussed. Traverse through the shelf I less than n and see if this shelf is already present in my map. Okay. How can I do that? If there is a map, there is a find function in map. If mp.find, mp.find, what need to find? Shelf of I. If my shelf of I is not equals to mp.end. Sorry, if it is present, if it is present, if it is not present, if it is not present, what is this? Is equals to mp.end. It is not present. Simply, what I need to do? Store it. mp of shelf of I. Store it. What? Pages of I. Store pages of I in it. Okay. But, let me tell you guys, if it is not the case, if it is not the case, what I am doing? See, I need to minimize the cost of removing. So from the current stored book and my current book, what I will remove minimum. So answer plus equals to minimum of my current pages. My current pages is pages of I. And from the map of shelf of I. Agree, guys? Okay. But what I need to store in the map? Maximum of both because I have removed minimum. So can I say MP of, sorry, MP of shelf of I should be there with the maximum of what? Pages of I and with my MP of shelf of I. Can I say that? Yes. After that, curly braces will be closed and I can return my answer easily. Let's code it. So here I am calculating the shelf dot size. After that, declaring what? Map unordered map of int comma int to store. Along with this, I need an answer variable initially filled with 0 and I am traversing in my shelf less than n. Yes. And if my map is if my shelf of I is not in the map, if mp dot find, you can do anything. Shelf of I is not, suppose it is not in the map, so it is equals to mp dot end. I need to store it simply. So mp of shelf of I must be filled with pages of I. No issue, as shown in the dry run. But if it is not the case, what should I add to my answer? Minimum of both of them. What? Pages of I. And what is filled in the map? MP of shelf of I. Okay, no issue. Let me do something correct. Yes. And what I need to store? MP of shelf of I is equals to maximum of shelf of I, maximum of MP of, let me write pages of I and MP of shelf of I. Now, yes, it is fine. After the loop, can I return my answer? So all the test cases of this question has been passed. Let's jump to next question. So guys, let's move to our next question. That is minimum operation query. Let's see this. What is this? First, let me go to my OneNote with this question. Okay, so let's see what is the question. It is saying that we have an string, we have a string containing lowercase English letters, okay? And we have Q queries of type L, comma R. Let me take the pen. Okay. So now we have Q queries and we have to find the minimum number of operation required to make substring from L to S. See, suppose we have a string. We can take the example from AEEXU, AEEXU. Can I do one thing? Can I write index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4? So if we have given substring from L to R, suppose from 1 to 3, this means L and R are the indexes, and from 1 to 3, my substring will be EEX. Okay. So now what this substring should contain? It should contain all the vowels only. The first condition is all vowels only. And we all know what are the vowels? A, E, I, O, U. So all must be vowels. Now let's see what is the second condition. And and their count must be same. It is most important in this question. Their count must be same. Count must be same. Let's see. If this is my substring is E E X. Okay. You can perform the following operations on the substring. What are the operations? Let's see. Replace any constant in the string with any vowel. Here we can observe that there is one vowel. There is one vowel. So I can replace it with when any vowel. Okay. I can replace it with A, E, I, O, U. Okay. It's my choice. Now, what is the second operation I can perform is insert any vowel at any position. Simply, if we encounter this question means they want to make my substring uh, with the most possible number of maximum possible number of given vowels. Let me explain. Here we have two E's. If I see the count of E is 2, A is 0, AI is 0, O is 0, AIOU is 0. So what they want, the count of vowel must be same, and also there should be only vowels and two operations must be there. Either I can change this consonant into vowel, and second operation is I can add any number of vowels. So what can I do? In one step, in one step, can I change this X into A? Now, in second step, I can add one A. After that, I can add, suppose I, and then again E, I, again I. Again, to complete this, I can add two O's, O, and at last, what is left? U. I can add one U. After that, I can add another U. I can add another U. So, in how many steps I am able to solve this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, my my answer to this query from index number 1 to 3 will be 8. I guess you are able to understand what I'm trying to explain. So what they want return an array of integers where the ith integer is the answer to the ith query. Means for all the queries, they want answer. For this query, the answer is 3. For second query 0 to 4, the answer is 6. For every query, I can perform two operation and make my this substring to complete vowels only, and the count of every vowel must be same. Now, let's see this example. This is AEXXU and the queries are 2, 4, 0, 4. And let's see how the answer is 3, 6 for this question. Now, we have A, E, E, X, and U. Let's write the indexes 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is my string. Let's see for the query first. That is query number 0. This is Q0. Q0 is from index number 2 to index number 4. I want to take the substring from index number 2 to index number 4. Is this EXU? You guys agree? This is EXU. Let me show you what can I do in brute force approach and how can I find. See, I can count every vowel. See, what is the count of A? 0. What is the count of E in this substring? This is 1. And I, it is again 0. O, okay, 0. And U, again, it is 1. So what can I do? Can I find the maximum number of count of vowel present from A, E, I, O, U? This is here 1. This is here 1 only. This is here. So maximum count of every vowel is 1. So I cannot remove the vowel. I can add vowels. I can replace consonant with vowel. That is why the maximum count will be the current present maximum count of vowel from our list. That's why I am taking maximum count here 1. Now, what can I do? Sorry. What can I do? I can add, I can add 1A. So my answer will be, let's see. My answer will be I can add 1A. Okay. E is 1 and my required count is 1. So I will not add E. Okay, 0. After that, the count of I is 0, but I need the count 1. So I will add 1. After that, the count of O is 0, but I need one count of O. Okay, let's add 1. And I have one count of U, but I need one count of maximum count of U, 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. That is how my answer for the first query is 3. Now let's see the second query, how the second query is working. Now let me write for the substring. What is the substring from index number 0 to 4? From index number 0 to 4, it is AEE and I guess XU. Yes. Now I can find the count of every vowel. That is, for the A it is 1, for E it is 2, for I it is 0. O it is 0, and I guess U it is 1. Yes. After that, what can I do? I can find the maximum count here. Maximum count present here is, you can observe, it is 2. From E it is 2. It is 2. So I need an answer. Means means what can I say? I need two frequency of every vowel. I need two frequency of every vowel. Either I am converting a consonant or I am adding a vowel, but I need two frequency of every vowel here. So I have one frequency of A, but I need two. So 2 minus 1. After that, I have two frequency of E, but I need two. So I will add 2 minus 2. I need two frequency of I, but I have 0. So 2 minus 0. I have 0 frequency of O, but I need 2. So 2 minus 0. After that, I have one frequency of U, but I need two. 2 minus 1. So it is 1 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. That is 6. So for first query it is 3. For second query it is 6. So my definitely answer will be 3, comma 6. This is how the brute force approach or my mind works to solve this problem. See, this is a using this brute force, using this brute force approach, using this brute force approach. First, I will traverse in queries. First, I will traverse through queries. Traverse through queries. Traverse through queries. This will take few time. And now, after that, I will traverse in the substring. Now I will traverse in the substring. And what I will find? Traverse in this substring. First of all, let me write the time complexity of traversing in the substring. It is the length only, that is n. And while traversing in the substring, what I need to find? I need to find the frequency. I need to find the frequency of every vowel. Frequency of each vowel. Of each vowel. Then I can find the maximum count of any vowel, maximum count of vowel. Then I can find my answer for answer of I means answer of that query easily by subtracting my frequency of that current vowel with my maximum count as I showed you in dry run. That is how in time complexity of I guess big O of Q into N. Yes, I can easily find this. But as a constraints given, it is a huge time complexity. So what can I do? Let's do some observation and try to solve this. Try to solve this. What can I do? See, here, what step is taking long time? Traversing in the substring and finding the frequency of each vowel, these two steps. I guess these are repetitive steps which I can optimize using some technique. And what is that technique? Let me tell you guys, it is prefix count of every vowel at every index. What can I do? Let me tell you my better approach or my optimal approach. My optimal approach is it is very easy to understand. Please see what is my optimal approach. Store the frequency of each vowel. I need to store the frequency of each vowel at every index. At every index. Before every index, I can say means prefix. I am storing the count of prefix of every vowel at every index. Frequency of each vowel at every index. Prefix. So let me tell you what will happen. After decreasing my right index with the left index, I can easily find the maximum count. Let's see again with the same example. What is my better approach? AEEXU. What is my better approach? It is my, okay. So my string was A, E, E, X, U. I'm storing the frequency, prefix frequency of every index with every vowel. So I can write here index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. and that is my frequency array will look like, let's see, index number 0, index number 1, index number 2, index number 3, index number 4. Now at index number 2, index number 0, 1, 2, I need to store the frequency of each and every vowel A, E, I, O, U. Can I associate indexes with these vowels? This is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. I can associate some indexes with every vowel. Now, at zero index, before zero index, because I am storing the prefix before zero index, the count of every vowel is 0. Before one index, the count of one A is 1 and other vowels are 0. At index 2 means before index 2, what is the count of A? This is 1. Means I need to copy this line. After that, what is the frequency of E? 1 and others are again 0. Now before index 3, what is the count of A? This is 1. The count of E will be increased with 2, with 1. Okay, 0 and 0. After that, at index number 4, it is U. So the count of U will be increased with 1. No issue. No issue. After that, my query was, let's see, my Q0. What was my query 0? It was from 2 to 4. From index number 2 to 4. So let's see, what can I do now? How can I find it? Easily, easily. I know that here my frequency of ij is storing frequency of ij. Let's erase and write only frequency of I. What frequency of I is storing? Let me tell you. Frequency of I is storing prefix of prefix vowel count of prefix vowel count of my S of I. If you get it, the complete question will be solved. Frequency of I is storing the prefix vowel count of S of I plus 1, not S of I, but it is S of I minus 1. I minus 1. Because the frequency of S of 0, the frequency of S of 0 will be shown in index number 1. You can see that A is 1, other is 0. Let me see. Let me tell you if I have made some X. So pardon please, I have made a mistake at index number 4. Index number 3 has X, that is 0. So I need to make a more index, that is 5, at which I am storing the index number 4 U. So it is 1, it is 2, it is 0, it is 0. And then the frequency of U is 1. Now it is fine. Now this array is fine. I need one more index in frequency array. Now, how can I find the count of every vowel? See, count for A, for E, for I, for O, for U. From index number, where is the frequency of index number 4? At index number 5. At index number 5. And for index number 2, can I decrease? Where is its frequency? At index number 3. So I'm decreasing from 5 with 2, not 3. Not 3. Means if this is L, this is R, I am decreasing R plus 1 minus L from the frequency. Let's see. Let's see. What is the frequency of A? 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. What is the frequency of E here? 2 minus 1. That is 1. That is 1. What is the frequency of I? 0 minus 0. Okay, it is 0. What is the frequency of O? 0 minus 0. What is the frequency of U? 1 minus 0. That is 1. And you can see From index number 2 to 4, from index number 2 to 4, it is EXU and the frequency of E is 1, but the frequency of U is 1. If you don't believe, can we take another example? Yes. From, from, can you say, let's see, from 1 to 4. Q1, let's take my Q1 from 1 to 4, 1 comma 4. And my count of A, E, I, O, U. So my count of, see what I will do, L and R, I will erase from R plus 1 minus L, minus L. Okay. From index number 5, decrease index number 1. Okay. For A, 1 minus 1, it is 0. For index number, for E, 2 minus 0, that is 2. 0 minus 0, 0 minus 0, and 1. You can see the frequency of E is 2 here and U is 1. And it is stored in my array. It is stored in my array. Now, after that, can I find max count of my, see, come back here. Can I find the maximum count of any number, any vowel here? That is 1. And again, repeat step. What is my maximum count minus present count and find my answer of I. Find the answer of I easily. So this is how I can optimize my solution using keeping a frequency array, and storing it. Let's move to this code. So I have a function. Let's write f, and we have parameters with string s and queries array. Queries array. So I need to return a vector of int. No issue. First of all, what I need to make a frequency array. That is two-dimensional. So first, let's calculate the length of this string, that is s dot size. After that, I need to make a frequency array vector of vector of int. I'm naming it frequency. And what is the rows? I need one more row than the size of string. And for every row, I need 5 columns. I need 5 columns for A, E, I, O, U. Now, to convert this indexes of column into my indexes, to convert the letter A with 0, with E with 1, associate them with indexes, I need a map. So I am taking unordered map. You can declare it in an unordered map when we will code. I'm writing here only map. Okay, not char, not int, sorry. I need a character to integer map array. Sorry, map. I need a character to integer map. Character to integer map, MP. What I'm storing in MP, please see. I'm storing the vowel A and associating its index, that is 0. And again, the second is E and I am associating its index as 1. Now, map of I, that is 2. Again, map of what? AEIO. I can store 3. And what is this? Map of U. And map of U is index number 4. This will help me in traversing. Okay. After that, let's traverse through the string and store its prefix count of vowel. Int I equals to 0 and I less than length of the string, that is n. And what I need, I am calculating prefix. So, and I have told you previously that s of I, can I say here, s of I will be stored in frequency of I plus 1. Frequency of I plus 1. So for S of I, for S of I, what I need to, firstly, I need to copy the upper index. See, firstly, I will copy frequency of I plus 1 is equals to frequency of I because it is prefix count. Firstly, I'm copying the I minus 1th to my I so that I can count it now. Now, if my current index element is my vowel, how can I check vowel? If in map I have stored vowels, so easily can I say find, if mp dot find my s of I, what I'm doing here, I am finding if this s of I is a vowel. If this is a vowel, what step do I need to do? Let be with me. Mp dot end. If not equals to mp dot end means it is vowel. What I need to do? See, I'm storing it. I'm storing it in my frequency array where my frequency of I plus 1 with the S MP of S of I because associated my associated index will be MP of S of I and I need to increase its count plus plus. Okay. After doing this, your this complete array will be prepared. Your this array will be prepared. Where is my cursor? Okay, this array will be prepared. Now make use of this array and let's try to solve the answer. How can I make can I calculate the size of queries array? That is queries dot size. After that, I need a vector of int answer to store my answer. Now let's traverse to the queries and see how can easily we do this step. For int I equals to 0, I less than n, and I plus plus. See, what is my L range? You can write data type on yourself. Queries of I, and where is my left range at 0th index, and where is my right range that is at index number 1. Queries of I and 1. Now what I need to do, I need to store the frequency of every vowel. So there are 5 vowels. I need a 5 size array again. Let's declare it. And what is the use of this? I want, as the name suggests, count of vowel. COV. Can I name it count of vowel with size 5? With size 5. I need count of vowel. And how I will find the count of vowel? Please be with me. For int I equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. See, using dry run, I have shown you that if I will decrease my r plus 1th index from the frequency array, r plus 1th index with L index, I can easily find the count of every vowel. Same thing. Repeat this same thing. Means, can I say count of vowel of I, oh, sorry, this loop will be executed with J because I has been covered here. That's why it is my J array. So my COV, count of vowel of J, will be equals to my frequency of, let me tell you, with R plus 1 and at jth, because it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4 only, and from decrease it from frequency of L of J. This is how the count of every vowel is calculated in my count of vowel array. Now I need the maximum count. Can I sort it and easily find it? Sort COV dot begin and COV dot end. And you are thinking that COV of fourth will give me my required count. Int required count required count is equals to, but not only C, maximum of my COV of 4. Agree? Because it is sorted. But again, the length of substring, C, what is the length of substring? R minus L. And we have 5 vowels. So I need to divide it with 5 so that I can find easily what the maximum of count of vowel of 4 means my maximum frequency of vowels along with the length of that substring. I also need length of substring. That's why it is required count is my maximum of this. Now my total count, let's declare a total count variable with 0 and again run a loop from I equals to from j equals to 0 to j less than 5 so that I can calculate my total count of the vowels that I need to replace means operations. How? My total count plus equals to what? Can you say my required count is required count and particularly now I have COV of I. I have this much of vowel at this index of j, sorry j. Means I need two vowel, but I have one. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Let me raise this. So my required count is 2, but I have 1. So that's why I'm decreasing from required count. Now can I say my after that answer dot pushback. Answer dot pushback. What? My TC. This is my total count. And let me show you the complete code. And can I close this? And here I can return my answer. That is how this code is executed. Let me show you code. So initially what I have done, I have calculated the size. After that, a frequency array, 2D array is declared, and I have mapped to uh, store the index of every associated vowel. After that, frequency array is filled using this loop. Now I am traversing into my query array, and in query array, I am counting the frequency of every vowel between this range using r plus 1 of j minus l of j. After that, sorting it to get the maximum. And after that, what I need, I am calculating total count equals to 0 and calculating what is the required operations and pushing it to my answer after that returning my answer. Let's see. Okay, let me erase this. Semicolon mistakes. Yes, if I'm going to submit it. All the test cases has been passed successfully. So now let's jump to next question. So guys, let's jump to the next problem, that is minimum increase decrease operation first. Okay, let's move to our OneNote to understand the problem. And let's see what the problem is saying. See, what the problem statement that we have given with the array of integers, and in one operation what we can do, either increment or decrement n element of array by 1. It is said that I can increase or decrease by 1 only. So I have two choices. Are you getting it? We have two choices. Your task is to find the minimum number of operations required such that there are two things, such that absolute difference between every adjacent element. What adjacent element like that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see 5 and 6. So difference between adjacent means these two, these two, these two, these two. So the difference, absolute difference between every adjacent element is equal. The difference between them, that is 1, it is 1, it is 3, 5 minus 3, 2, 6 minus 5 is 1. This is not equal because 1, 1, it is 2. It is not equal. The difference must be equal. And one condition also, it should be power of 2. The difference should be power of 2 means power of 2 means 2 raised to the power 0, that is 1, 2 raised to the power 1, 2, 2 raised to the power 2, 4, like this, like this, like this. Okay. So you can increment, what is the note? You can increment or decrement an element any number of time. Okay. We can decrement or increment any number of time, no issue. But such that the element always lies in range. Range of element is 0 to 300. Range of element. It is important to note that 30 to 300. Okay. Are you getting it? The range is from 0 to 300. The element of the array cannot go beyond 0. Less than 0 cannot go less than 0 and cannot move more than 300. Okay. So here, for every element, can you see, we have two choices, either to increase it or to decrease it. So are you guys thinking to solve this problem using dynamic programming? Yes. Because at every step I have two choices, either to increase it, either to decrease it. And from that, what I want minimum. I want minimum of both. I want minimum answer from both of the choices. But here the element can go from range 0 to 300, means element cannot go beyond 300, element cannot be less than 0. So we have to do some tricky thing. I will try to make the absolute difference with every possible value of power of 2, and along with I can explore every possible value from 0 to 300 to make the array element. See what I'm saying? What are the possible values of difference? What are the possible values? 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16, 32, all the power of 2 till 300, 64, 128, and I guess 256. Then you can count the number of elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the size is 9. See, I will try all of the differences. I will try all of the differences to make the difference between adjacent element as 1 for all the, because it should be equal, na? For all elements, I will try to make the absolute difference as 2, then 4, and which will give me the minimum answer. I will store it. I will store it. For every difference, what I need, because my range of element is from 0. Range of element is from 0 to 300. So I can explore for every ARR of I to make it either 0, either 1 till 300. All the possibility from 0 to 300. And with every difference, I have to explore all the possibilities of ARR of I. Another, again, with 2, with difference 2, I have to explore all the possibilities from 0 to 300. For 4, I have to explore all the possibilities. So this is how we can make this. Let's see. Let's see what I'm trying to do. Here, First of all, I have calculated the size of the array. After that, all the possible differences I have stored in a difference array: 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, and 256. After that, I am storing the maximum value, the infinite value 1 raised to the 10 raised to the power 9 in our answer. So because I want minimum. So I am exploring all these. See, what is the size of this difference array? 9. That's why I am exploring all the possibilities from 0 to 9, means all the elements of difference array. With all the elements, I want to call my solve function from 0 to 300, means 300 times, because I want to explore all possible value of index, that is from 0 to 300. And before that, I am making a DP array. What is the DP array will contain? For every index, what value it can store. So the range of this, the number of columns in this DP array is from 0 to 300. You can see that. After that, I am calling this solve function, and the minimum value from answer and this solve function will be stored in my answer. So what this loop is doing, exploring all the possible difference with all the possible combination of the value of ARR of index. That's how. That's how. Now this solve function has parameters with array. It is index of the array, starting index, zeroth index. After that, start is representing the values from where we are going to start our array index. Now difference of I means I am exploring the difference as 1, then 2, then 4. Okay. After that, the maximum element value possible can be 300 and my DP array. After that, you can see if my index will be greater than ARR of size, then easily return 0 and come back to a function. Now, if the DP of index and value is already calculated, that is, it is not equals to 1 in 9, infinite, then I can easily return that calculated value. Now, I have two possibilities. I have two possibilities from this value. From this value, see, from this start, I can either move d times ahead or d times backward. So, so my num1 will be value plus d, or my num2 will be value minus d. Either I am increasing with d, increasing d times or decreasing d times. Okay, my operation 1 can be performed if my num1 is less than maximum element, that is easily 300. See, if after increasing my element d times, if the value is less than equals to 300, means it is in the range, in the given range, then easily I can call my function. And what my operation should increase, because I am increasing that ARR of index minus value times. Suppose I am increasing 5 times, D is 5, and my current value of index ARR of I is 10. So 10 minus 5, because I am increasing 5 times. That is why my operation performed is absolute difference between ARR of I minus value. And I'm calling the solve function with ARR next index, and num1 will become my new value. And the difference will remain same, and maximum element and DP. Same case for the decreasing. I am storing my error of index minus value absolute difference into my op2, and then calling the solve function with num2 here with the num2, and returning with minimum of operation 1 and operation 2, because I have two choices, either to perform operation 1 and operation 2. That's how, this is how this code will be work. So now this question has been completed. Please write in the comment box how you enjoyed the problem, and hit the like button if you enjoyed the solution of the problem. Thank you.